Formula One visited Japan and Suzuka last weekend for yet another installment of its blockbuster 2017 season. Proceedings around the iconic circuit saw Lewis Hamilton come out on top, while it was another disastrous day for Sebastian Vettel and Ferrari. The outcome leaves Hamilton the odds-on favorite to secure the title, but apart from that, there were several other things to learn from F1's visit to Japan. Relentless Hamilton turns the screw. Lewis Hamilton is an elite-level driver. Elite-level drivers deliver when it matters, and so it was in Japan as the Mercedes man took the race weekend by the scruff of the neck and dominated it. After a tricky Friday for all the teams, the Briton produced a qualifying masterclass on Saturday to destroy all who stood in his way. Come Sunday, Hamilton got the start right and set about the business of ticking off the laps. He was kept honest by Max Verstappen's Red Bull, but the Mercedes man was unflustered out front and never really looked like he would lose the lead. He did have a scare towards the end of proceedings, which allowed Verstappen to close right in, but ultimately, the Silver Arrows driver held it all together and crossed the line to claim another well-earned victory. Hamilton has been a picture of professional poise during the last third of this epoch title battle with Sebastian Vettel, and it is plain to see that he has been drawing on all of his past experience and inherent quality to stand on the verge of being crowned champion once again. What a weekend! Huge thanks to the fans out here and my hard-working team who have been so meticulous. Hooray! Medium dark skin tone at Mercedes M1F1 camera at Sutton Images picked out Twitter.com Key905S Lewis Hamilton at Lewis Hamilton October 8, 2017 Tiny margins, huge consequences heading into the summer break. A couple of months ago, Sebastian Vettel and Ferrari must have felt that they were in with a real chance of winning the title this year. Since then, however, both driver and team have been guilty of some sloppy errors that have cost them dearly. First, there was Vettel's rash decision to chop across Max Verstappen in Singapore. The stewards chose not to take any action, but the blame it quite clearly at Vettel's door. Then came the Malaysian debacle, where Ferrari suffered poor reliability on both their cars, settling for scraps at a race that they were favorites to dominate. It was an exciting start to the Japanese watch. https://t.co12578 Takujpic.twitter.com Fox Sports Live at FSatia Live October 8, 2017 In Japan, Vettel was once again forced to give up the fight due to a faulty spark plug on his Ferrari. The reliability at the Italian team has been utterly unacceptable of late, and it was poignant that Hamilton, during his podium interview, made reference to the enormous effort that goes on at Mercedes to ensure that such mishaps don't befall him or teammate Valtteri Bottas. Ferrari have fought an admirable fight at many points this year, and it is good to see F1's oldest team challenging for silverware on regular occasions, but they have simply fallen apart as a result of their own mistakes, as well as the overall quality of a well-drilled Mercedes outfit that never seemed to flinch when things get tough. Championship contenders at Lewis Hamilton looks to have more or less sealed the title according to Adam Stockinger. Japanese Japan picked out Twitter.com 5x8 Ujito, Fox Sports Live at FSatia Live October 8, 2017 Better from Bottas room for improvement. To say that Valtteri Bottas has been having a tough time of late would be an understatement. Coming into the Suzuka weekend, the Finn had been unable to get within half a second of teammate Lewis Hamilton during qualifying since the summer break, and had been showing underwhelming race pace to match. In Japan, matters improved slightly. Bottas, while still being left trailing by Hamilton during qualifying, did at least manage to close the margin somewhat. Starting in P6 due to a grid penalty, the Finn made short work of getting past Esteban Ocon, and displayed strong pace towards the end of the race. It wasn't quite enough for him to catch Daniel Ricciardo for P3, and he was still soundly beaten by Hamilton, but at least Bottas is starting to operate roughly within a relatable sort of ballpark compared to his illustrious teammate. The champagne is not enough for Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo enjoyed a solid Japanese weekend, ultimately claiming P3 and another admirable result. However, there is a difference in pace emerging within the Australian's Red Bull team, and he is on the wrong end of it. Ricciardo did well to pip teammate Max Verstappen over one lap on Saturday, something which hasn't actually happened all that often this year. On Sunday, however, it was the Dutchman who made the better start, scything his way up the inside of his teammate's car into Turn 1, and making the move stick. At Red Bull Racing on the run, watch at Daniel Ricciardo's move to go past Oka Esteban and move into third. Japanese Japan https://t.corriv1vjgr8 picked out Twitter.com's Chiwo, Fox Sports Live at FSatia Live October 8, 2017 From there, Ricciardo lacked the pace to run with Verstappen and Hamilton at the front, and while his teammate entertained thoughts of snatching victory from the Mercedes man in the closing stages. Ricciardo was some way back, striving to keep the other Mercedes of Bottas behind him. Verstappen struggled to convert his Saturday dominance into Sunday results in the first half of the season, but of late, he is starting to put complete race weekends together, and is generally the one setting the pace at Red Bull at this moment in time. A snapshot of McLaren-Honda, with McLaren and Honda dissolving their ill-fated three-year partnership at the end of this year. The engine manufacturer's home race represented a swan song of sorts for the unhappy marriage. Fernando Alonso and Stoffel Vandoorne fought bravely with the machinery at their disposal, setting the 10th and 11th fastest laps in qualifying, although Alonso was relegated to the back of the grid due to power unit component changes, which Honda admitted was embarrassing. Come race day, the pair again did their best, but there were ultimately no points earned as they finished P11 Alonso and P14 Vandoorne. It was especially sobering to watch Alonso fight Felipe Massa for the final point on offer, all while being lapped by the front-running Hamilton and Verstappen, who were squabbling over victory. To see the great Fernando Alonso reduced to a backmarker, an obstacle to be removed from the way of the leaders, rather than a champion fighting for glory, was a somber snapshot of the McLaren-Honda project, and what it has cost one of the sport's most successful teams, and one of its greatest drivers. One for the scrapbook for Julian Palmer and his at Renault Sport 1 Team Japanese Japan F1 pic.twitter.com F1Y5IO Formula 1 at F1 October 8, 2017. Palmer says his goodbyes with the news breaking that all relevant parties had agreed to allow Carlos Sainz to join Renault for the U.S. Grand Prix. It was clear that Japan would be Julian Palmer's last outing as a Renault driver. Unfortunately for the Briton, it was a weekend much like any other 2017 weekend. First, he was outpaced by teammate Nico Hülkenberg during qualifying, a common theme this season. Then he was left circling in the lower half of the pack on Sunday, while Hülkenberg spent considerable time in the top 10. With no obvious seat available for 2018, it appears that Palmer's time in F1 is over, at least for the present. Unfortunately, this was always the likely outcome for a driver who was being firmly put in the shade by his teammate, while driving for a team with ambitions to challenge for bigger things. When the highly rated Sainz became available, the writing was on the wall for Palmer. Enjoy the full experience of the 2017 FIA Formula 1 season on Fox Sports Play, where you can catch live races from angles unseen before, exclusive interviews, behind the scenes, in-depth analysis and so much more. Don't miss it.